With 5 races remaining in the 2020 AT&T Champ Car World Series season, we arrive to a track that has long been a critical part of the calendar. An hour northeast of Columbus and 90 minutes southwest of Cleveland, you'll find the scenic Mid-Ohio Sports Car Course. Opened in 1962, the 2.25-mile road course has an open capacity of 87,000. That's almost completely filled as we get ready for 90 laps here of Mid-Ohio. 13 corners makes up a typical 65-second lap for the Champ Car machines, 8 of them to the right, 5 to the left, including the first and the last corners of the lap. The weather today, very comfortable. 64 degrees right now with an expected high of 67. Wind is slight, 4 to 6 miles an hour to the southeast. The drivers have dealt with far worse almost every other weekend this year, so that ought to be a welcome change. Talked about how quick a lap time is here. 2.25 miles, and Champ Cars can handle it in 65 seconds in race trim. Yesterday qualifying saw a new track record set. Christina Espinoza set a new track record of 1 minute 2.836. That was set in Q2, so that helped her get on pole position. Kimmie Kenosha right alongside of her also broke the track record, as did Christina Espinoza. And Stephanie Porter-Kelly. Porter-Kelly and Kenosha only 1/1000th apart. But that sees Porter-Kelly starting on the inside of row 2 next to Cameron Jackson. A lot of news came out of the woodworks this weekend. Brad Neri was supposed to be racing for Swiss Autosport and Champ Car next year. Now he's been demoted to the Atlantics. Not something that was seen favorably by Neri's team. But as a result, Matthias Michelin is slated to come back to fill that number 50 machine for Swift Autosport, which will have a new title sponsor, with Knight Swift coming in as a logistics partner for the team. Impulse announced that it was letting go of Tyler Parker and Thomas Rogers at the end of the season. Tyler Parker driving full-time for the team. Thomas Rogers set to make Fontana at the end of the year, his last race with the team. The biggest news, however, comes out of Indianapolis. It was announced just this morning that Obsidian Racing Team, after over 5 years away, is coming back to Champ Car competition as a full-time competitor in 2021. They'll be running one full-time car and one part-time car next year, running with Chevrolet engines, bringing back McDonald's sponsorship, as well as bringing Motorola sponsorship from their efforts in Japan. The team has won 2 of the last 3 V8 GP team championships over there. There is a full news post on the CRC webpage for everyone to check out. So a heavy weekend already news-wise, and the race hasn't even started yet. We're 5 races to go. The points championship battle's down to 28 points. That is the gap between Andrew Draco and Stephanie Porter-Kelly. Andrew Draco starts outside row 3, Porter-Kelly starts inside row 2. So they're going to be really close together, and they're going to be battling pretty hard. We're close to what we believe to be the command to start engines. So we're going to keep it a little bit light. And then after the command, we'll go over the starting grid. We actually end up missing it. Christina Espinosa, there was a cutout in the feed. But Christina Espinosa didn't go. We had a technical issue. So we're glad you're back. We missed a part of the conversation. But Christina Espinosa has stalled on the grid. The pole sitter will not be taking the green flag with the rest of the field. So that is quite a concern for the Escuderia Gia camp. That moves Porter Kelly to provisional pole, so she will control the race start. That is not what you want to hear if you're Andrew Draco. So the starting grid's all out of whack now. But we'll go over the strategy. It's going to be about a 4 pit stop race. 18 to 21 laps is the pit window. So, the tire wear is going to be at a premium, and this track is very crucial with dirty air. The elevation change, as you can see, just from turn 6 to 8 that we're going through now, advances and intensifies that tire wear. So drivers must go at least 18 laps on tires. If they cannot go 18 laps, then a 5th stop is almost mandatory to make the tires to the finish. Everyone else trying to see if they can get as close to 20 laps on extended tires as they can. But we've already had a little bit of drama. Christina Espinosa not able to make the start. It's going to be Stephanie Porter Kelly leading them to the green with Kimitsu Kenosha sitting alongside. Kenosha has a string of 3 second-place finishes in a row so far. Is today going to be any different? We are green in Mid-Ohio, and Porter Kelly cleared away instantly. And Lacasse almost spins it. Cold tires, Lacasse had to check up and almost spins it. And she'll drop several positions. That is not what you want to see, but cold tires will do that. But it's Porter Kelly up front. Then it is Kimitsu Kenosha sitting in 2nd position. Cameron Jackson holds on to 3rd. Then Andrew Draco moves up to 4th. Isabel Espinosa sitting in 5th. As they climb up the hill to the carousel. What a run. Craziness right now. Porter Kelly leads lap 1. See, Kaylee Zappa moved up to 6th position on that opening lap after starting 12th. So massive gains for her. Then it's Ishibashi, Lacasse dropped down to 8th. And then Wessel sitting in 9th. Ray Taylor 10th. Tyler Parker 11th. Simone LaRoe 12th. Everyone trying to get into a rhythm back here. Lundquist dropped several spots. She started 13th. She's now behind her teammate Keisha Fox. Saw Brad Neri close to the back of the field. And there he is right now. Trying to prove himself to the field and to the teams of Champ Car. As he tries to scramble for a ride in 2021. Nicole Lechty's out, and so is Christina Espinosa, so they did get back running. So it seems like Espinosa's not the only one with problems at the moment. Nicole Lechty qualified 11th, now sitting 25th. What an opening stanza. Absolutely crazy. Porter Kelly has been reasonably successful here at Mid-Ohio. In 2016, on her way to her second IndyCar World Championship, she won at Trois-Rivières and then at Mid-Ohio. So she has a reasonable amount of success here throughout her long career. Andrew Draco's up to third. Cameron Jackson's dropped down to fifth. As it stands, it's dropping down to less than 10 points, being the championship difference, with 4 races to go. And Draco knows the pressure is on. Richmond was not ideal for Draco, having to start last and move up to the top 10, trying to minimize the damage there. Luckily, he did do so. He's made quick work of Jackson and Espinoza in these opening laps, trying to make as many passes as he can while the tires are fresh. Two of the past 3 years the race has been run, the championship winner has won at Mid-Ohio. Porter Kelly won in 2016, Draco won in 2017. The only difference is 2018 was won by Jimmy Jardine, who had missed a few races early in the season and ended up not being in the championship contention at the end of the season. Podium in 2018 was Jamie Jardine, Astrid Crane, and Thomas Rogers. None of them are in the field today. So Porter Kelly is sitting at the front of this caboose. It is a train at this point. But she is in the best position right now. She knows that she can make it the most conveniently on tires. Everyone's sitting behind her, especially the further back you get, the more dirtier you have to struggle through, and that wears the tires out a little bit more. So there is a premium concern on tire life, especially if you're someone like Draco or Isabel Espinoza, where you're sitting in dirty air and you have to adjust your lines to try to get some air to the front wing. You see Porter Kelly taking wide lines, very sweeping lines. Cameron Jackson trying to make a move on Isabel Espinoza. Kettlev Racing has stepped up their performance as of late. All 3 of their cars sitting in the top 6. Fantastic effort by the team so far. The first 1-2 of the team's existence came just 2 weeks ago at Richmond. Cameron Jackson won that one. Kenosha finished second. The team is in very high spirits. Kettlev Racing had their own announcements. Diego Jaramillo will be taking over the 3rd car for the team in 2021. It'll be the number 20 car, so the 17 car will be a part-time entry for the team next year. With Kelly Zappa moving to Swift Knight Autosport. Looking at Kaylee Zappa now, she's only had 1 podium so far this season. A bit of a disappointment in her eyes compared to the success of her teammates. She has not won a Champ Car race since 2017. And that was New Hampshire. Fittingly enough, New Hampshire is the next one on the cards in just 2 weeks. You see how close the top 5 is so far. Porticali leading the way. You see how close Espinosa is to being a lap down. She already is 1 lap down. She's close to going 2 down. Nicole Lechty is 1 lap down. Fastest lap so far belongs to Andrew Draco by 1/10 over Christina Espinosa. So Espinosa is trying to fly. Cameron Jackson with the 3rd fastest lap. Keep an eye on the Porticali, Kenosha, and Draco battle. That's the main 3 right now. Those are the ones that are the closest. Espinosa and Jackson are a little bit off of the podium right now. Everyone getting into a rhythm, trying to figure out what they want to do, how this first set of pit stops is going to look, and how much that's going to jumble up the grid, if it will. This is where most of it's going to happen, is on the pit lane. Porticali ran a little bit wide, though. Kenosha got really close to the gearbox. So did Andrew Draco. But that checkup put momentum back in Porticali's favor as she was able to pull back away. An interesting conversation piece after qualifying was how Wessel and Draco ran the same Q2 times for Phantom Motors, despite the fact that Draco has the upgraded car. Wessel has partial upgrades, but he was kind of left behind with the team's recent decision to focus on the Drivers' Championship. And that shows. Wessel's sitting all the way back down in 9th. Draco, the fastest of the front three right now. Fastest man on track. Showing that those upgrades, as far as race pace is concerned, helps a ton. But right now, it's not enough to overcome the dirty air setup behind 2 cars. Coming to complete lap 10. Kenosha's going to look to the inside. She's going to move to the inside. What a move by Kenosha. They're still side by side. Kenosha's running close to the grass. And that's going to mug Porticali. Kenosha forced the issue and moved Kenosha out of the podium and almost out of the top 5. What a maneuver by Kenosha. He stuck it on the outside and held it, and Porticali didn't know where she was. Ended up clipping that curbing, unsettled the car, and had to slow it down. So now Porticali's down in 5th position. Wild stuff. As they started lap 11, we're close to finishing that lap now. See what Kenosha could do with the clean air. She's not had clean air all race long. Can she pull away? And now the gap's half a second between Kenosha and Andrew Draco. Kenosha, the 2012 Formula One World Champion, has never been on the podium here at Mid-Ohio. Has never been in championship contention, but right now this is as close as she's been. And a win here would certainly help with 4 races to go. It's about to be crunch time in the championship standings. In the past 3 races, she is the only driver that has consistently beat Andrew Draco. Her string of second place finishes have moved her up to the top 5 in the championship standings. She sits right now just more than a race out of the championship lead. The gap opened up just a little bit. It was 0.53, it's now 0.59. It'll be interesting to see if Draco pushes or if he tries saving the tires to make it to the first round of pit stops. Remember, 18 is the key. You must make the tires last 18 laps. Otherwise, you risk having to make a 5th pit stop or risk having the tires explode. Watch Kenosha go up. Through turns 11, 12, and 13 down at the bottom of the hill. Seems like Draco is suffering a bit of tire fall off because Espinosa's right on his gearbox. And indeed, it shows it in the timing stands right now. Almost 2/10 gained by Kenosha on that lap. Top 3 separated by 1 second. You see how full the grandstands are, how full the open capacity seating is. All of the campers, most of the fans behind the fencing. Enjoying the Fall Classic at Mid-Ohio. Kenosha trying to add a Mid-Ohio trophy to her trophy cabinet. She's got one from Valkenburg. She's got 2 from Indianapolis. In addition to her numerous F1 accolades. It is a Honda 1-2-3 right now. In fact, the only non-Honda in the field in the top 5 right in the top 6 is Porter-Kelly in 5th. The best Alpine in the field right now is in 7th. 7th and 8th actually are both Alpines. Both of them Team Impulse cars. About to finish lap 15 here. A little bit of technical issues as we're trying to figure those out. My apologies. You see how the track flows. Keyhole, which is turn 2, down through the straight. You see how forested the trees are around the track. It's a very scenic place. One of the most beautiful places on the Champ Car calendar. Arguably up there next to Watkins Glen. See as they get ready to come down towards the carousel section up the hill. Having to manage their braking. Before coming back down through turns 13 to cross the line to start a new lap. Kenosha looking pretty comfortable out there. The gap staying relatively stagnant. Isabel Espinosa's dropped off quite substantially. Further down the field, 7th and 8th swap places. Lacasse gets by Ishibashi. That's not a difficult situation. I think Lacasse is clearly the faster of the two impulse drivers in the top 10. Gives her a chance to breathe and try to catch up to the top 6. See how much the spacing is. The pit window opens this lap. So now the question begins. Who has to pit early? Can everyone make it to about lap 20? If everyone can make it to lap 20, then it's a really solid 4-stop strategy. It's all about your pit stops and your pit windows. It seems like some people have pit early. There are some that pit early. That is Gerard Perth. Lucian Latchabelle did. Not sure if Ronald Walker has. Doesn't seem like it. But there are some early takers. Obviously, Lucky and Christina Espinosa not on the same strategy. They had issues at the beginning of the race. So right now it's all about damage limitation for them. Kenoshita comes in. Draco stays out. So the top 6 kind of split. Draco, Jackson, and Isabel Espinosa stay out. Kenoshita, Porter Kelly, and Zappa come in. And it seems like further back, Lacasse stayed out as well. David Wessel stayed out. So some interesting split strategies here. .65 lap times here. So it's not very long laps. You can easily go a lap down if you're off pace. Draco comes in this time. And so do the leaders behind him. Lacasse comes in as well. Trying to use an overcut situation here, seeing if it'll work. Dave Wessel comes in, so both Phantom cars are in. Modern Moon comes in as well. Cody Blackman, Keisha Fox, and Ronald Walker. So cars will go a lap down here. But who has the lead out of this first pit cycle? It looks like the overcut might have worked. Draco has the lead. Kenoshita drops the third. Porter Kelly's going to try to get back to fourth to the inside of Cameron Jackson. So some switcheroos have happened in the pecking order of things. Porter Kelly in the grass, trying to make a pass on Cameron Jackson happen. She will get it to happen. Through turn 10. That was close. Kenoshita now stuck behind Isabel Espinosa. And there's Christina Espinosa coming in the pit lane. The gap is pretty significant. 3.5 seconds is the gap between Andrew Draco, the race leader, and the championship leader, and everyone else. Can anyone catch him? Doesn't seem like it'll be Isabel Espinosa, at least. The gap keeps opening. Andrew Draco pulling almost to 4 seconds. This is kind of important. Portichelli's on the charge. Kenosha defends, tries to hold on to third. So the overcut was super effective. But now the question is, who's got the best car in this group to chase down Andrew Draco, if anyone? Espinosa seems to have pulled a little bit of time back, a little over a tenth. Keep an eye on the second group, because this second group is full of feisty individuals. We saw Kenosha make an outside pass on turn 1 on Portichelli. Lacasse is in this group as well. So this group has a lot of heavy hitters. Everyone but Kelly Zappa in this group have won a race at some point this season. So they've all found success. Is the gap going to close this time around? It opened up significantly. And now Portichelli's on the defensive. Cameron Jackson's the inside trying to take fourth away. And now he's opened himself up to Kelly Zappa. So they'll go side by side for fifth. Cameron Jackson has to put a wheel off the grass to give Zappa room. So Zappa moves up to P5. This is about to be an interesting little on-track meeting. Christina Espinosa and Andrew Draco. Espinosa going to be trying to hold on to her lap. Gap is now 5 seconds. Almost a full second that lap alone. Andrew Draco is flying. Absolutely flying. He does not have the fastest lap, though. The fastest lap right now is on Hazel Lacasse. A 104.7. Kenosha with a 104.76. Draco with third fastest time, 104.78. Interesting comparisons there. All 26 cars still running. Lucian Lachapelle now sitting the last car in the lead lap. Nicole Leckie got past him. You can tell that Isabel Espinosa is not the fastest car in that group. So we're keeping an eye on Andrew Draco right now as he gets closer and closer to Christina Espinosa. We've already had one pit stop cycle of this race, excuse me. One of an expected 4. Almost 6 seconds is the gap. Absolutely staggering. He's getting closer and closer to Espinosa. I can figure with normal circumstances, if a teammate's sitting in second, the driver in front usually has the job of impeding the race leader. However, with this being a Gia, and with all of the fallout in that team, I have a very strange feeling that's not going to be the case. A very strange feeling that will not be the case. Gap stagnated that time, still below 6 seconds between Draco and Isabel Espinosa. Draco can cruise right now and still have a very easy advantage. But Draco's also been at the tail end of some awful pit stops this season. Hopefully they've got that all figured out. Because losing the race after looking so dominant so far, if he were to lose this race, it would be heartbreaking. See Simona Leroux now in between Christina Espinosa and Andrew Draco. Leroux definitely not up to speed, but also not moving out of the way either. Draco's going to try to make quick work of Leroux. And does so. Job done. The gap does extend just a little bit. Now it's over 6 seconds by just a fraction. Isabel Espinosa just has no response. No answer for Draco at all. We've seen the overcut work the first pit stop cycle. Lap 36 is when the window opens once again. We'll see who all jumps in around that time. Draco should be able to go until about lap 38. That's what the current estimates are telling us on our telemetry up here in the booth. Lap 38 for Draco. Lap 36 for Kinoshita and Porter Kelly. They might jump on that. Keep an eye right now on Andrew Draco. 6.1 last lap. This lap it is 6.5. Holy cow. Draco's on fire right now. This is one of those races that you... It's one of those races where it's a masterclass so far. Draco going through the keyhole section, turn 2. Staying relatively on par with Christina Espinosa. He's not trying to push the issue too off much. Then again, these two cars on the screen are the two fastest on the track. Over 7 seconds is the gap. .1 seconds. This is just a masterclass for Andrew Draco. 7.4 now, almost 7.5 seconds. You can tell Espinosa does not have the car under her. That line is so long that David Wessel has caught back on, and Sakura Shibashi's not far from it. But the dirty air, we talked about this in the pre-race show. The dirty air is so bad and the elevation is so bad that the combination just makes it hard to pass. We are close to the second round of pit stops. This is the second place battle. 2nd through 9th are all in this line. Someone's going to have to blink to make something happen in this pit stop cycle. Someone's going to have an amazing pit stop to try to leapfrog Isabel and kind of push her out of the way. For those just tuning in, we are just over 1/3 of the way through the PNC Grand Prix of Mid-Ohio. We've had some technical hiccups, but one person who's not had any hiccups at all this race, Andrew Draco, sitting 8 seconds ahead of this line here, headed by Isabel Espinosa. Absolutely staggering run by Andrew Draco at the moment. Absolutely staggering. .16 is the gap between first and second. It is absolutely atrocious. One of those times we kind of wish we had in-car audio. because I highly doubt that Isabel Espinosa is happy in that car right now. Highly doubt. Gaff shrugged that time. It's now back down just below 8 seconds. Can't believe I'm saying that. No one can get close enough. That first stint, drivers were able to make some daring moves on each other. That has been able to happen. Kenosha's been the leader of those daring moves, but she has not been able to get anywhere close to Espinosa to try to make one of those happen. So it's been very much a sit in place and kind of just hope for the best. So who's going to come in this lap? Nobody came in that lap. Everyone stayed out. Interesting. Well, here now some of the people in the back are coming in. So when does Draco come in? And can anyone leapfrog him? Can anyone get even close to getting close enough to him? 8 seconds is a very hard thing to overcome. Even a bad pit stop. It would have to be one of the worst pit stops ever for Draco to lose this lead. He doesn't come in this time. Lundqvist going a lap down here. Temporarily. Expecting Draco to come in at the end of this lap. We believe is going to be the case. Wait and see. Through turns 11 and 12, you're up the top of the carousel. And Draco does come in. Some of the lap cars will get their laps back. This is going to be an interesting little ride here. Kenosha, Porter Kelly, Zappa, all three pitted earlier this time. Can they make any ground up? How much? Because IndyCar and Champ Car, they've never used tire warmers before. So everyone comes out dealing with cold tires. And they lost more time. Kenosha's going to try to make a move on David Wessel. David Wessel's not going to have a chance. But everyone having to stay out on cold tires. Wessel almost lost it. Got really loose out of turn 2. Everyone battling the cold tires and having to come in early is losing time. However, now you see the people that just came out of pit lane having to deal with cold tires. Kenosha's already he's made positions twice on this lap. And now she's got to do it again with Isabel Espinosa. So Kenosha made her way back up to second. She wasn't going to beat it. But now she's second in this line, third overall. Interesting little play of elbows out for Kenosha. Almost a 10-second gap between Isabel Espinosa and Andrew Draco. Kenosha's on a charge. She's on an absolute tear right now. She closed that gap like nothing. What is Kenosha going to do? Can she get by in this stint? She needs to. 2 of the 4 expected pit stops are out of the way. You have to start making a move now. She's getting really close, too. Trying to slice through the dirty air, get to the gearbox of Espinosa. Trying to do what she did in the first stint, where she made a move on the outside of turn 1 on Christina Espinosa. Not Christina Espinosa, Steph Porter-Kelly. So Isabel Espinosa sits in second. That's really close coming out of turn 13. Not close enough to make something happen this lap, but coming out of turn 2, Isabel may be in a bit of trouble. Right now it is a Honda 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Honda looking really strong here at Mid-Ohio. You can tell Kenosha's a faster car because she's through all of the S's. She's just gaining so much time. There's a fundamental flaw in Isabel Espinosa's setup. She took too much downforce out of the car. And it is making her suffer just a little bit. Just enough. So here we are. Approaching halfway. It's been a very interesting race. Andrew Draco's walked away with it. From the end of the first pit stop cycle all the way on, it has been Andrew Draco's show to lose. Isabel Espinosa has been an absolute kidney stone in the pass. Has out on to second most of the race. Kimitsu Kenosha trying to change that. However, it is going to get harder and harder the more you get into a run. She's getting really close here. This is how she set up the move on Porter-Kelly. Now she's alongside. Through turn 13. Espinosa's going to have to give it up. And she almost loses it. That bump on the inside. And now she's out of the podium. There's a bump in turn 1 right next to the curbing. And if you hit it while you're on the throttle, it will kick your car sideways. And that's what happened to not Ishibashi, but to Porter-Kelly. I guess to Ishibashi in a way at the start. To the Cass. And now to Isabel Espinosa. And now Kenosha has free, clean air. Can she claw that time back? We are going to find out. What is it going to look like this lap? What is it going to look like the next couple laps? Gap stayed the same. The gap stayed the same despite all of that battling and all that traffic having to hit the outside line. Gap stayed the same. So that might be a rate of progress for Kenosha to try to start regaining time. And Cameron Jackson got through as well to take third. So they both have the ability now to try to run away from Isabel Espinosa, knowing that Isabel's going to take the longer tire stint to try to make up that time again. The next pit window opens on lap 54, so 9 laps from now. The gap is shrinking, almost half a second taking out that lap. The gap is coming down. Question now is there enough time for Kenosha to try to claw back 10 plus seconds on Andrew Draco to try to challenge for the lead? And how is Draco going to respond knowing now that his security buffer is no longer there in Espinosa? It is going to be quite a showdown, I think, near the end of this one. We've still got 2 set of pit stops left, so anything can happen in a heartbeat here at Mid-Ohio. Right now, it's been caution-free. All 26 cars still running. We've just passed halfway. This will be 2 laps past halfway. Gap is slowing down just a little bit more. So Kenosha is faster by almost a quarter of a second. But a quarter of a second's not going to be nearly enough. In order to give herself some time to actually get to Draco, she needs to get about at least 0.3 of a second a lap. And that's a hard ask. A very hard ask. But that's what she needs to do. Her and Cameron Jackson both are trying to push as hard as they can to try to make another 1-2 happen. If this team can make a repeat 1-2 happen, it'll be the first time since the early 2000s that a 1-2 has happened more than once in a season by the same team. You see both Kenosha and Jackson trying to navigate the wounded car of Simona Luro. She's gone off track at some point. Jackson couldn't get by, and that's not a good omen for Cameron Jackson. But Kenosha did. Kenosha lost a little bit of time that last lap. Yeah, Kenosha, what is the gap this time? Can she recover some of that lost time? She does! By a substantial margin that time, under 10 seconds now. Draco stuck behind Christina Espinosa. Now it could be different. Here's a battle for third. And Espinosa's got issues. Espinosa's in the grass. Espinosa's out of power. Espinosa's been slow all race, and now she's out of power. She's on the curbing. And the caution will come out. The gap is gone. Caution is out for Isabel Espinosa, who drops out from 4th place with some sort of powertrain issue. She lost power. Either she lost power or she lost gear. But either way, the caution is now out. Andrew Draco's gap of over 10 seconds is gone. This changes everything. First caution of the day. It's a very simple caution, but it's going to let the field re-rack. Oh boy, who's ready for this one? Pit stops will likely happen here. We're close enough to the window. However, for Andrew Draco, this is not great. Draco has the second most positions lost on pit stops under caution. Only one person has lost more positions under caution, and that is Nicole Lechty. Lechty's lost 38 positions under caution on pit stops. Draco's lost 28. That is staggering. A staggering amount of positions lost. And it's part of the reason why this championship is as close as it is. Draco's only won one race this season. He won Lausitz, a race where both Phantom Motorsports cars looks really strong. He's not won anywhere else. He's got 10 top 5s. He's got 12 top 10s, excuse me, out of 15 races, but only one win. And the pit lane, especially under yellow, on road courses, speaks volumes. So this is a massive concern for that 13 car. And you'd be a fool not to come in. Tires mean too much. LaRoe's going to stay out because she's going to pit next lap. So all the lead lap cars will come in this time. Does Draco lose spots on pit lane? We talked about positions lost. Draco's got the second most. Most positions gained on pit lane? Sitting right behind Kenosha right now, Porter Kelly. With 20 positions gained on pit lane under caution. Cameron Jackson's up there as well with 12 positions gained under caution. Draco is going to get out first. Cameron Jackson will gain more positions here, so bad pit stop for Porter Kelly. Div also will gain positions here. So for Porter Kelly, that's bad news, but for Cat Div Racing, that's great news. They did their job. Porter Kelly lost 2 positions there. 3 positions, excuse me. This puts teams in a bit of an interesting position now. Not one I don't think any of the teams are really interested in. Using the current pit window, which everyone has been followed almost tooth and nail, they're going to be 4 laps short. So 2 pit stops are required. They have to make 2 more stops to make it to the end of this race on tires. This will be interesting. The lap cars come in the pit lane this time. The pit lane's open for them. So Draco will inherit the lead here. So that'll move the lap cars to the back of the field. Moves them out of the way. So we're going to see if anyone came in that lap. When we get the signal that we're going 1 to green, we'll go over the race order. Because there's some absolute changes in the order right now. So when we get the 1 to green, we'll go over the rundown on who's where. It seems like Espinosa is back and running. So Isabel Espinosa, she lost power, but they seems to have been able to get that car refired. How reliable is that car going to be? We'll find out. But she's no longer in contention at all. This is about to be an interesting battle. 2 Cat Devil Racing cars bookended by 2 Phantom Motorsports cars. In fact, the top 5 are all 2 teams. And they're all Honda. So this is going to be an absolute brawl between these 2 teams. Phantom Motorsports showing that they are truly here to be a force in Champ car. And Cat Devil Racing flexing their muscle that they found as of late. And putting effort into their team as they head into 2021 as one of the favorites next year. So the lights are still on the safety car, so we're having one more lap, so there must be something going on track. Interesting to see what. So here's the rundown of the order. Andrew Draco leads. You see him out front. Then it's Kimitsu Kinoshita, Cameron Jackson. That's top 3. David Wessel's 4th. Kelly Zappa's 5th. We talked about Cat Devil Racing and Phantom Motorsports being the top 5. That's all of it. Stephanie Porter Kelly was 4th before pit stop, 6th after pit stop, so she lost position. She's still the best positioned Mercedes. Sakura Shibashi gained positions on pit lane. She's 7th. Mildred Moon gained positions. She's 8th. 9th is Natalia Kurachenko. 10th is Ray Taylor. So Ellen competition making their way forward. Cody Blackman started 23rd on the grid. Sits 11th. So he's had an amazing sequence of pit stops here. Tyler Parker sitting 12th. Hazel Lacasse down to 13th. So a terrible pit stop for Lacasse. Hopefully she can make up a little bit of ground here. Keisha Fox 14th. Jace Clark 15th. So they were row 11. They were 21st and 22nd on the grid. They're now battling for the top half of the field. Siri Lundquist started 13th, sitting 16th, so she's recovered some positions. Ronald Walker started 25th, is now 17th. Patrick Marcelli sitting 18th. Esther Hobson started last. She's now 19th, so she's gained the most positions of anyone so far today. Gerard Perth is 20th. 21st is Brad Neri, so he's dropped 5 positions. He started 16th. Lucian Lachapelle was off cycle for a while. He's now back on cycle with everyone with this caution, so that helps him a lot, but he's in 22nd, a very low position for Lachapelle and for Striker Motorsports to be that low with any of their 3 cars. Last car on the lead lap is Nicole Lecty, who was, again, also off sequence, but now back with everyone else. Will be interesting to see how Nicole Lecty handles traffic here. She is one of the the bigger stars when it comes to road course racing, so she's got some time, but it's not going to be easy. 3 cars 1 lap down. Both of the Escuderia Guia cars are 1 lap down with powertrain issues, with electrical problems of some sort. Cristina Espinosa lost her pole position at the start. She couldn't get her car running at the formation lap, so she lost a lap there. Simona Leroux with a damaged car. She went off track going into turn 3. So that makes life a little bit difficult for her. Turn 4, excuse me. And then Isabel Espinosa, the cause of the caution that we're currently under now is we see that the lights on the pace car are off, so we've got 1 lap left of caution. We'll be going green at the end of this lap. Isabel Espinosa sitting last, 1 lap down, but not out of it. A lot of things can happen. But that is your rundown. Fastest lap belongs to Andrew Draco quite consistently. Hazel DeCast has the second fastest lap at 104.6. 104.6 for David Wessel as well. Kenosha now 4th fastest. She was the fastest at one point with a 104.7. So lap times have started to come down. But we are getting closer and closer to going green. Pace car getting ready to come in. They're going through the S's complex now, so a little bit of time left. So place your bets. 2 of the fastest cars on the track are now back nose to tail for the first time since the start of the race. For Kenosha, she's trying to break a streak here. She's finished second the last 3 races in a row. Watkins Glen, Kentucky, and Richmond. She's sitting second here. Most people wouldn't complain, but Kenosha wants the larger trophy for once. And we're green once again. Seems like the back of the grid tried to jump it a little bit. Tyler Parker just got mugged further in the back, but up front it's pretty calm. Draco, Kenosha, Jackson, Wessel, Zappa, top 5. But importantly, it is game on. Wessel having to defend from Zappa, that's going to separate him from Jackson. Now Draco has to mind his P's and Q's now that he's got a little bit of pressure behind him. Draco knows how to win here. Won here in 2017. But now it means a little bit more. It's up to Kenosha to prevent Draco from maintaining that gap that he had before. Interesting seeing Andrew Draco develop from being more of an oval-oriented guy to becoming as stout as he has been on the road courses. Keeping an eye on the Kenosha as she stays within half a second. Everyone has kind of calmed down a little bit as everyone tries to get back into a rhythm here. Kenosha is keeping herself really close to the back of Draco, knowing there's at least one pit stop left in this race. This is going to be very, very interesting. Going through the carousel, turn 11 through 13, down the hill through turns 13 now. Draco's opened up a little bit of a gap here. Opened up half a second that time. As I go through turns 4, 5 at the top of the hill, and then 6 is where they're going to now. 6 for Kenosha, and then 7 and 8 is the yeses. There's your race leader, center your screen. Coming out of turn 1. This camera view gives you a bit of a scope as to how big this venue is. A very expansive venue. See the mound outside the keyhole for turn 2. Full of people. And now we see the trees interrupting the way of the view as they come up the hill. You see how much elevation there is in just that one corner. Cameras do not give it justice. Draco's absolutely opening up the gap now. 30 laps to go here in Mid-Ohio. 2/3 the race down. It is Andrew Draco putting on a clinic. He's got most laps led almost in the bag as it stands. Gap has come down. It was almost 2 seconds at one point. Kenosha's trying to claw that gap back. Both of them have one race win so far this season. Draco won at Lausitz in Germany. Kenosha won the race before that at Valkenburg. So both of them last won in the European swing. Cameron Jackson sitting in third at the moment, pretty comfortably ahead of David Wessel at the moment. Cameron Jackson's race win just came 2 weeks ago. The last race we were here at Richmond. So for those tuning in to CRC for some Champ Car racing, it's been an absolute roller coaster ride. It was looking like it was going to be an Andrew Draco clinic. Still might be, because the gap keeps fluctuating about 1.5 to 2 seconds. But knowing that pit stops are going to be cutting it extremely close, knowing that the window that they have to meet, they have to get the 71 to have a chance to make it to the end on one pit stop. Who's going to try to stretch it out, and who's going to try to undercut it and really just push all out? Doesn't seem like Draco's saving up. Kenosha might be. So now we've entered the full strategy phase of the race. Where drivers have to make a decision. Do they come in for tires? Do they come in at their normal schedule, which with how the caution fell will be about lap 68? Or do they try to stretch it these 3 extra laps? Do they really want to? They were under caution. They last pit on lap 50. The caution could have helped them save a little bit of life. But can they make it to 71? Can they make it to 72? And make it on one more stop? Right now, we're looking at the race leader, because if he can't, nobody can. He's been one of the last pit stop going drivers all race long. He's been able to go 19 laps. Can he do it from here? We are going to find out. 70 isn't going to make it. You can't make it 21 laps. The drivers do not feel comfortable making it 21 laps. 71 is the very limit. The gap is opening. I believe Kenosha may be saving a little bit. She's trying to keep that gap steady at about 2 seconds. But how much does that help, and how much of that is just her tires are falling off? Dirty air shouldn't be a factor for her at this point. She is in clean enough air to where she should not have any effects of the dirty air. Right now, it just comes down to pure pace and strategy. Draco right now has had the pure pace, and he's had the advantage with the strategy. Does he maintain that? Firestone has said that if the tires won't explode, but they'll definitely go flat. They will definitely delaminate, and they will flatten. And if anyone has seen Firestone tires fail in Champ Car and in IndyCar back in the mid 2000s, when they go flat, they go flat. They become unusable. You can't move with them. And usually when one goes, another one will follow. So that makes it extremely difficult. We saw tire failures happen at Motegi. Keisha Fox had that issue, still rebounded to finish in the top 10. We've seen tire failures happen on occasion. They're not often, but Firestone said with how bumpy the surface is, and how much grip, how much friction is applied to these tires with this current car, there's a easy chance where they will reach their limit and they will delaminate and they will go flat. Teams, for the most part, have adhered to that rule. There's been no issues with tires in qualifying or in practice this weekend. But now, push comes to shove. Who's going to push that envelope as far as the tires and the tire recommendations? The gap has stayed steady at 2.06 for the past 3 laps. So, Kenosha is matching. Kenosha is matching Draco right now, pace for pace. Kenosha, an F1 World Champion, Draco, an IndyCar World Champion. Both of them have had to adapt so much over the course of their careers. Think about how far Draco has come. Qualified for Indianapolis 500 in 2014. Only to have his engine give out on the grid. Didn't get to start his first 500. Gets his first actual Indy 500 start in 2015 with Black Rose Racing. Starts from, I think, 3rd on the grid. And finished on podium. Gets pole position in 2016. But he gets taken out early. Draco was raised around oval racing. The story of Thomas Draco, his older brother, and his tragic passing in 2003 at Indianapolis, doing a tire test with the very same company that supplies tires for Champ Car now. Kenosha's in. She's not making it to the finish on one more stop. She's got to stop again. Now the ball is in Draco's court. Can he make it to 70? Can he make it to 71? Or is he going to cut his losses and come in this time? We talk about the story of Draco and how his family has overcome loss. How he overcame his fear to race in Champ Car. Became champion of the world in 2017. He's trying to do it again. This is a critical race. A race where Porticali has been on a decent roll. He's sitting 4th right now. That is his closest competition, and Porticali is no slouch. And Draco's had to be one step better every race. This is no exception. This will make it a lot easier if he can hammer this. He's coming in this time. David Wessel does not. David Wessel's going to try to stretch it. One more lap for Wessel. He will lead that lap. So Neri comes out. Going to try to stay on the lead lap here. Neri's going to be on cold tires. Wessel's going to try to get by. Try not to be held up here. They are on different races completely. A very interesting game plan here. Wessel's going to lose time here. Battling with Neri. He's going to lose so much time. Going through the S's here. Neri's going to try to come back at him, but has to let him go. Going through turn 9. Down then the short straightaway. Turn 10 here. Then turn 11 and 12. And he should be coming to pit lane this time, is what we're hearing. Indeed he does. So he's not, no one can make it on one more stop. Everyone's got to stop again. But there's Draco, there's Jackson. Kenosha's dropped to 3rd. So Cameron Jackson's got the best of his more experienced teammate. I say more experienced. Kenosha's the more successful of the two. Jackson's actually been racing a little bit longer. Porter Kelly sitting in 4th position at the moment. Theoretically, depending on where Wessel comes out. But she's got her hands full with Kaylee Zappa, Mildred Moon, and Sakura Shibashi. Wessel comes out ahead. So the overcut has worked. The cold tires are too much of an issue. The tires aren't heating up fast enough to overcome the deficit. But now Wessel has to overcome 2 Cat Devil Racing cars and hold on to second to get a 1-2 to Phantom Motorsports. What an interesting story that would be for Cat Devil Racing to get a 1-2, and then for Phantom Motors, another Honda team, to repeat that feat with Cat Devil Racing watching and waiting and trying to stop it. But Wessel's not at the speed that Jackson and Kenosha are. They are gearbox to gearbox. Jackson's not as aggressive as Kenosha is. Kenosha would have already put a nose in. Jackson is on the gearbox, fighting that dirty air. A bobble there through turn 1. And Kenosha had to check up the most. Porter Kelly tried to make a move on Kenosha there. It didn't work, so now Cat Devil Racing is going to have a 3-4-5, depending on how this move going into turn 4 works. And Mildred Moon's got her nose into it. Her first real showing in the top 10 since before her injury at Indianapolis in May. So she's back to looking in decent form. So Kenosha had to drop back a little bit. Cameron Jackson gets a little bit of breathing room. Now he gets to kind of give chase to David Wessel. Is Dave Wessel going to be able to really hang with Andrew Draco? 4.8 was the gap there, 5.3 here. Draco's got this one in the bag, barring a caution. We've only had one. We know everyone has one more stop. It's just a matter of when that stop happens. Decisions. Up and down that pit lane. Looking at Cameron Jackson, because the battle right now is for second. Draco is over 5 seconds up the road, going through the carousel now. Jackson falls back a little bit here. Wessel's going to try to gain some time. Gain 3/10 that lap. He needs more laps like that. As far as the lead goes, the lead's been very predictable. It's been very consistent. It's been Andrew Draco and Andrew Draco and Andrew Draco. And did I mention that Andrew Draco's been leading almost all of this race? But behind him, it's been an absolute roulette wheel. Wessel's been second, Jackson's been second, Isabel Espinosa's been second, Kenosha, Porter Kelly. All have been second at some phase of this race. It is an interesting run for the podium right now. The gap that Wessel gained the lap before, he just gave back up. It's back down to 5.3. It was 5.0 the last lap. So it seems like Wessel might be trying to pace himself compared to his teammate here. Wessel knows he doesn't have the car for the long run pace. So he may just be pacing himself, trying to keep himself in second place. It's very possible. He very well could be playing for the team. Either way, it'll be a good day for him. He's finishing as the top rookie in the race. The next closest rookie is Mildred Moon, 7th. The assumed rookie of the year, Natalia Kurichenko, is sitting in 9th. Kurichenko is sitting well ahead of every other rookie in the field right now in points. Neri had to come back in the pit lane. That might have been strategic. So keep an eye on that. Swift Autosport might have just made a very smart decision to bring him in early and bring him in out of the pit traffic where he was at and try to gain some positions when everyone else comes in. That's a very smart move. He's not doing Kaylee Zapp any favors. A bit of lingering ire between Neri and Zappa. Zappa's supposed to be taking a spot in Swift Autosport next year. Neri was supposed to, but they replaced him with Michelin. Matthias Michelin, after 2 years away, will be rejoining the Champ Car grid. Neri being pushed down to Atlantics for the team. So, definitely not the happiest camper with Kaylee Zappa right now, but he's doing things. Not Christina Espinoza, Stephanie Porticelli, Sakura Ishibashi, Mildred Moon, all three of them are not going to be happy with Brad Neri. They're about to be really unhappy with Brad Neri. I would not like to be the Italian after this race. Neri showing a bit of emotion behind the wheel. Might have just played a hand in securing who's top 5 in this race. But close to the front, this is about for second. It is back to being these three. Kaylee Zapp is a bit further behind, but she is a bit safe. Battle for second is still really close. It's going to come down to this last pit stop, absolutely. So we're keeping an eye out here. We're coming down. We're getting closer and closer to 10 to go. Cameron Jackson getting close once again. It's all about timing. When do you make that move? Wessel pulled away really quickly there on the S's, though. So Wessel's got a more nimble car. The clean air helps, obviously. But a more nimble car nonetheless. All three stay out. So it's all about who blinks last, is what we're learning here. Who blinks last? Last time it was Wessel that blinked last. Moved himself up into second place. The issue we're seeing with how cool it is outside is that the track temperature is also cool, so it's harder for drivers to get the speed with the tire temperatures. It really takes them almost 3/4 of the lap to really get the tires where they want it to be. And that's saving everyone time. You need 11 laps to go here in Mid-Ohio. Draco's trying to become a 2-time winner at the track. It's almost a formality at this point. You see how far he is ahead of Wessel. In reality, Brad Neri is still in front of Porter Kelly. He might be Draco's best friend. He might be working very closely with the Honda teams right now. Because it's a Honda 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's Phantom Motorsports and Cat Dove Racing, the two biggest Honda teams on the grid. And he's ensuring that Striker Motorsports cannot meddle with that. He's ensuring that Striker Motorsports and Team Impulse can't do anything about it. Striker Motorsports, Team Impulse, and Own Competition are all stuck behind him. So Brad Neri may be pulling the best Honda team play that he could have done. Because they're still behind him. They're still very much battling amongst each other trying to get by. Hofson blinks, so she's come in early. When does Draco come in? Does Draco come in this time? We know they've got one stop. When's it gonna be? Not then. How about Wessel? Wessel, Jackson, and Kenosha, do any of them come in? No, they do not. Zappa will stay out as well. I don't believe Neri's... Yeah, Neri's not going to leapfrog Hofson. Hofson was too far forward. Isabel Spinoza, how much is she going to block off Andrew Draco here? Hoffs was on fresher tires. So now Draco's in a bit of a bind. Because now he's in the traffic before he pits. It's not ideal. Really not ideal. Lechty comes out. Draco's going to try to get by Espinoza here. Espinoza crowded him. Stays one lap down here. And Hofson gets by. So now Draco's in trouble. Because now he's got to deal with traffic and dirty air. This is bad. Draco is not in the best position in the world right now. He's lost almost a second to his teammate. And the more he sits in this crowd, the worse it gets. He's going to have to come in soon. Andrew Draco's got to navigate traffic here. If I was his crew chief, I would have pulled him in right then. Just pull him out of traffic. You know nobody else can make it. Cameron Jackson's in, so that's a smart move. Cameron Jackson just undercut. Knowing that they're dealing with traffic. Lechty's holding off Wessel, so Wessel's disrupted. Jackson just missed all of that. Jackson and Kenosha both. Oh, both of them just came in. I think all three get out of racing cars just came in. So they're on a team strategy right now. They're avoiding what Phantom Motorsports is dealing with right now. Marcelli, Hofson, Espinoza, all three holding up Draco. It is a fanfare right now in front of him. Draco had to give up time, but now Draco's got to hold up on the outside of Marcelli. Marcelli's the one that lost time. Marcelli's on fresher tires, so now he's going to have to try to get back around Draco. Draco is in a world of hurt. Actually, Marcelli might actually have issues. Marcelli is really off pace. Draco comes in now. Wessel stays out, but Wessel's still dealing with Nicole Lechty. That's not a smart move, man. Inside's not going to work. That is not what you want to see. Cameron Jackson, there he is. Perth's in. So Jackson gets a lot closer to Andrew Draco there. A lot closer. Ooh. That time loss. It is no joke. Jackson's on Draco. Draco may have just lost this race. This is going to be tough. Oh, man. Let the red miss cascade. Up to the carousel. With 5 laps to go. Wow. Draco's to the inside. Jackson's on the outside. Jackson tried to make a move, didn't have the run. But Jackson's close. He's there enough to make it happen. Wessel's still out. Oh my. Wessel's pulling a very bold strategy right now. Is he going to try to do this to win his first ever Champ Car race? This is a bold move. He's staying out. He's going to try to stretch it. Four to go. And Draco has to survive. In the case that Wessel cannot stretch it, he's got to survive and hold off Cameron Jackson and prevent Cameron Jackson from being the first back-to-back race winner in the season. What a turn of events. Kenosha sitting 4th on the road. Provisionally 3rd. She's sitting right in front of Kaylee Zappa, just out of screen view there. Cameron Jackson is really close. It's a sprint. There's Wessel now going through the carousel. Still staying out. Staying behind Lechty. 3 to go for Wessel. Holy cow. Imagine Andrew Draco and getting pipped by your teammate at the very end. That's what it's looking like right now. Draco's doing everything he can to hold off Cameron Jackson. Jackson's fallen off just a little bit. But man, this is an interesting tale. Looking at Wessel again. Is Wessel going to come in? He comes in. He can't do it. Ooh, this is going to be interesting. Oh, this is going to be something. 2 to go. Where will Wessel file out to? That is the interesting question. Is he already back out? He's already back out! Oh my gosh! Wessel just pit and came back out without losing a position. Oh my word. What a go by David Wessel. Reliability cost him his first chance at a victory at Lausitz, and Andrew Draco picked it up. Wessel's not going to be denied this time. Through the carousel. 11, turn 12 up at the top of the hill. A failure for Gerard Perth. He's going to be out of this one just shy of the finish. It's the white flag, 1 lap to go, presented by PNC. That's the podium right there. 1, 2, 3 with Christina Espinosa 2 laps down behind behind Cameron Jackson, excuse me. Less than 2 miles to go for David Wessel. Through the S's. And through turn 9. 4 corners to go for David Wessel from Ashbury Park, New Jersey. Turns 12 and down the bottom of the hill, turn 13. For the first time in his Champ Car career, David Wessel wins in Mid-Ohio. Well done, son. Andrew Draco comes home second. Cameron Jackson third. Kenosha brings it on fourth. And it's a Hall Honda 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Kaylee Zappa with 5th place. Sakura Shibashi stays in 6th place. Natalia Kurachenko 7th. Cody Blackman, with the strategy calls from Apex, moves him into the top 10. So Cody Blackman with a rare performance. Ray Taylor 9th. Stephanie Porter Kelly dropped down to 10th. So the championship that was closing just got busted wide open in favor of Andrew Draco once again with 4 races to go after this. Looking at the outside the top 10, it's Keisha Fox in 11th. Tyler Parker in 12th. 13th is Hazel Lacasse. 14th is Jace Clark. 15th is Mildred Moon. 16th, Lucian Lachapelle. 17th, Ronald Walker, who was firmly outperformed by his teammate this time around. A rare occasion for the Apex cars there. Sari Lundquist, a terrible day at the office for her. She sits 18th. 19th is Esther Hofson. 20th is Patrick Marcelli. Then you have 21st being Nicole Lechty, who never recovered after having electronic issues on the opening lap, had to come back in, avoided going a lap down, but couldn't get anywhere with the traffic, so she finished 21st. Brad Neri, last car on the lead lap, but he finished on the lead lap, finishing 22nd. Then it is Christina Espinoza, Isabel Espinoza, and Simona Leroux one lap down. So Brad Neri did beat both of the Agia cars, at least. And Simona Leroux finishing last car in 25th. Gerard Perth, we saw him in pit lane coming to the white flag with a gearbox failure, and he will be the only retirement of the race. What a run. What a race. 2 weeks' time, it's New Hampshire. New Hampshire, then Road America, then Indy Road Course, and then Fontana. That's the final 4 races of the season. The championship's wide open now. It's in Andrew Draco's favor. Andrew Draco has to kind of just do damage limitation the next 4 races to become a 2-time IndyCar World Champion. Portugali has everything to do. But that's going to wrap us up here. It's been the PNC Bank Grand Prix of Ohio. The very scenic Mid-Ohio Sports Car Course. We hope you guys enjoyed 90 laps, 203 miles of action. And David Wessel is a first-time Champ Car race winner for Phantom Motorsports. Well, that'll do it for CRC Network and for the AT&T Champ Car World Series. We'll see you next time.